This week's DRM Not Included on F5 Live Refreshing Technology is proudly powered by Amazon Prime. We all know that you get free shipping on millions of products with Amazon Prime, but you get a whole lot more. Like free music with Amazon Prime Music, free TV, movies, and documentaries with Amazon Prime Video, free games, and a free Twitch subscription to support the content creator of your choice with Amazon Prime Gaming, plus a whole lot more. We've got links to all of these features and some of our favorites, plus a 30-day free trial, all by going to f5live.tv/prime. In a rare move, Congress did something over the last 2 weeks. We were just talking about their inability to do that. Over the last 2 weeks, the U.S. House of Representatives, the U.S. Senate, passed a law, or I guess a bill, that sets a timer for TikTok, and the president has signed it into law, so a 9-month timer has started. At the end of the 9 months, TikTok will have to have been sold to a Western-held corporation or be banished from the United States. If it feels like you're living in a time warp because you've been through this before, you're not wrong. Near the end of the Trump administration, we were in a very similar position, except for the fact that that time it was done through an executive order from the Trump administration that set a timer for ByteDance to sell TikTok to a Western corporation or face a ban in the United States. This time, it's the Congress that passed the law, which means that the ever-shifting tides of politics don't have quite the same stranglehold that they had last time, because obviously last time, as the administration changed, as things changed, essentially it never happened. And that was because one of the first things that Biden did when he came into office was nullified the executive order, and so it was never going to go forward. But this time, we don't have an executive order. We have a bill through Congress and signed by the president. You don't have quite the same kind of sway. So what is going to happen? ByteDance has reportedly said that they would rather close U.S. operations than sell TikTok. And the TikTok leadership has apparently shifted from the U.S. Because there were U.S. leaders overseeing the U.S. division of TikTok. Apparently control over the company has been shifted to HQ in China at ByteDance, which certainly suggests that they are preparing to put their foot down. There have already been the beginnings of challenges in court. ByteDance has basically said they're ready to take this to the U.S. Supreme Court. The argument they're going to make is on First Amendment grounds, which many constitutional scholars and attorneys have said is going to be a difficult uphill battle, partially because First Amendment challenges are often kind of blown out. They're very difficult to win on, but also TikTok isn't unique. There are 3 primary platforms right now that have direct clones: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, with Reels, and Shorts. So there would not be any loss or censorship to the people. So I've been following this a lot over the last 5 years since the beginnings of this conversation started. It's an uphill battle if they want to fight it, Avram, and a lot of constitutional scholars are saying that it's probably not one they can win if they're going to fight on First Amendment grounds.
Yeah, I mean, So I find it interesting that they have 9 months. So that means that that takes them past the election.
Uh-huh.
So a
Yeah.
chance for TikTok to influence the election to make sure that they don't go away, right? Um,
Yeah, I found that timing
so
interesting myself.
right, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's good for some of the politicians too, so they don't have to face, young people who are mad about it.
That's what I was
Although,
thinking it was.
are there really? I mean, let's be real here. I know a lot of people use TikTok. Are there going to be a lot of Americans who are like, "Oh, TikTok is gone. What will I do? Let me march in the street for TikTok." I mean, you could just use Instagram. It
Right.
has all the same features. In fact, I find that TikTok really, like, technically, like when I try to use it on the computer, it works horribly.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the browser, it's like it doesn't load half the time, or like it can't let me log in or whatever. It seems like it was made to just be a mobile app, and like the web version is more of an afterthought.
100%.
Isn't But like, why on earth wouldn't, like, it's not like people can't do this somewhere else. So I don't know. Like, I don't
Yeah.
actually know if TikTok, like, if there's a political movement, a strong political movement of people who are going to stand up for TikTok.
Yes. There is a weird. Uh, I've seen it in action. I've seen it in my personal life. Um, there is a contingency of people who see TikTok not as the um, societal threat that it has been pitched as, but instead as the, I don't know, some sort of liberation movement. It's very interesting to see. And in my experience, those people are, in my experience, it's important to say, in my experience, I can't say that everybody, but in my experience, the people who have that view and uh, that obsession with the platform are damaged, just kind of in general. And I suspect TikTok, based on the timetable of what I've watched, I suspect TikTok has influenced it, right? We know a lot about TikTok. The way it works, we don't know its algorithm, but we do know that in the West it works very differently than it does in the East. The algorithm is different, and it it suggests that some of it might be purposeful, and it might be what the congressional leadership was shown evidence of that changed their position on this. Because it did seem that there was that, we talked about this last time we talked about TikTok. There was that meeting, and after that meeting and that presentation, opinions changed in Congress, and so either there's some sort of a direct national security threat that was discovered, or it's the cultural and algorithmic issues. And I suspect it's a little bit of both. But I think the cultural impact that it's had very negatively has a lot to do with this ban. But yes, there are people who are gonna fight this hard. There are people in our circle, Avram, who are furious about this, and it could absolutely affect the way they vote.
Well, except that probably most, if they were to actually look at it, I think most politicians are against TikTok,
Yeah,
on both sides of the aisle, at least the presidential candidates for sure. Um,
sure.
so if they're trying to parse that out, um, but I mean, I think there's some Congress people who are pro TikTok or whatever, but you know, I've been doing some reading about this, and it really does seem like TikTok does get is really big. Now, look, we have this problem. I mean, this problem should be tackled in some way. Like, I don't know how you tackle it on US owned platforms,
Mm-hmm.
but there's absolutely issues of foreign influence, bots, and all that kind of stuff on X and on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
right?
For sure.
And on Instagram.
I was just say
So
Instagram.
there's there's plenty of foreign influence going on there, and we have companies that are U.S. owned that could do something about it or could do more about it, and they're not.
Right.
So I think that's a problem. However, if you know that you have a company where the company itself, not through avarice, where they just want people on, not through trying to save costs, not through ignorance, not through
Mm-hmm.
benign neglect or whatever, is deliberately pushing stuff to try and uh, cause problems.
Mm-hmm.
And you know it's you know there are some numbers that show that uh, that TikTok deliberately pushes like certain conspiracy theories and
Mm-hmm.
by far the most anti-Semitic conspiracy theories
Mm-hmm.
around, and not because they're not moderating it, but because they're algorithmically trying to get more people to see it,
Yeah.
because they want more division, they want more chaos, because it is good. Like, the amount of divisiveness and social media has all played a big part of this. Really is what countries that are in competition with America want,
Yeah. 100%.
right? They want us divided. Granted, there are so many different things that are making people divided, so many different
True.
pieces of media, so many American owned things that are extremely divisive. So maybe TikTok is just a tiny grain of sand on a giant beach,
Yeah.
but
It's
it
one
is
that
a
can be
grain of
dealt with.
sand that can be dealt with because of the ownership. So I think I think that's fine. Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, I mean, I don't know how you deal with it elsewhere, because there's issues of like, oh well, are people, are these conspiracy theories and whatever free speech? Is the algorithm free speech?
Right.
All of that. But if you have a foreign actor that is trying to control this, and one thing that I have really, really, I was watching some videos recently about, of course, it's not great with saying you learn something, but about sort of how business functions um, in People's Republic of China. But the government absolutely has tremendous influence on how these businesses are run.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, and they have it, not just influence over how they're run, but also access to the things that they do, such as data. So, TikTok has claimed that they don't store any U.S. data in China, and that was proven incorrect recently. Like you said, there's the issue with the anti-Semitic content. All of this stuff came back up after October. It's possible that you know that may have played a role here. There's a lot on the timetable. There's a lot going on, and yes, I know we're gonna hear about this. We do every time we talk about this, and I'm fine with it. Um, no, I don't think that this is a precursor for them trying to silence Facebook and YouTube. I no, because like Abram just said, they don't have the legal grounds to do the same thing. And no, I don't care. those are the two questions that keep being. Don't you care about the creators who are making a living on TikTok? Nope. Sure don't. I've said for a very long time, you shouldn't build your house on somebody else's land. And I still agree. I still believe that you shouldn't build your house on somebody else's land. Yes, right now we're on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and whatever. But if one of those were to go away tomorrow, we have built this on our own land. If YouTube went away tomorrow, fine. We'll continue down on Rumble and on our own website. That not gonna hurt me. No, I don't care. It might sound harsh. I don't care about that either.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel some empathy for people because I mean these platforms, social media platforms, you kind of are the means of distribution these days. So it's very hard to, to run a business without them. But there's other ones. So there's Instagram. So just go to Instagram.
Exactly. It's not like this concept is about to go away. There are three big ones right now: Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. Go that way, and the monetization on YouTube is better than the monetization on TikTok anyway. And here's the thing I can guarantee: if this goes away in 9 months, you know what happens? 6 clones pop up the next day.
Yep, very true.
Guaranteed. There will be clones over the next 9 months trying to fill the void that TikTok is about to create, and somebody's going to be successful in there. It might be Meta, it might be Google, it might be somebody new, but that void will be filled. This is a need that is already being filled elsewhere and will be continue to be filled elsewhere. Make it work. When Tumblr got rid of certain content, there were clones within hours of the company's announcement, and people went that direction and they were successful over there. We've seen it every time something like this happens. It will not be a big deal. Nobody's going to be left out in the cold. The world will continue on. There we are. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course hit the notification bell because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to PLUGHITZlive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.